remember that time when I asked if you had sisters? Does anybody have a brother? Oh, shoot, everybody has brothers. That's awesome. All right, well, our next poem is going to be about a brother. And she's a poet you haven't heard from yet. She's Adri. Please welcome her to the stage.
To the girl who will eventually love my brother. You, poor, poor woman. You will fall for him, brick-like, the air pulled thin around you. He will smile and your stomach will turn and you will think, oh, these must be butterflies. And I will think, no, you dumb, vapid child, that is the sting of older sister paranoia. If you hurt him, I will cut you. I am serious. My brother is all bruised heart, multifaceted like light shone through raindrops on lazy Sunday mornings. He is lazy and humble and gets angry easily when you beat him at Super Smash Brothers. It is good for him sometimes to remember his own fallibility. But I hope you can also let him win. Let him relish in the way it feels to be good at something, the way I could never let him triumph. And if his breath smells a little bad, it might be from that time that I farted in his mouth when I was 5 and he was 2, but he deserved it. Little brother toys were not supposed to bite that hard. I hope you kiss him anyway. He sometimes snores. Not always, not the way I do, like a derailed train, but sometimes, like the dustiness of dirty air vents. Perhaps that was always the difference. The way I was always lightning quick about stealing attention at the dining room table while he collected Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh cards, watched Saturday morning cartoons like an avid reviewer, prayed with his eyes tightly shut at Sunday morning mass. On road trips, he would sit English-only silent in the backseat of the car as my dad wove Spanish-textured stories of his days as a boy. Sí, papi. Qué bueno, papi. Dime más. I'd ask for the stories that pushed my brother further into his Game Boy-centric world. The first time he told me he hated me, he was 13. I was pushing him too hard, asking about schoolwork and homework and extracurriculars and where were all his friends. He pushed back, adult eyes staring over baby fat cheeks, hurricane fury brimming over the look he had given my mother so many times. My brother grew up lonely. Teased in school, quick to anger. He never backed down from the people who picked on him. I wish I had his spine, his exclamation point sturdiness behind a heart too big to break. Be gentle when you touch him. Search for the hairline cracks in his armor, they are there. Be patient, never raise your voice. My brother's voice has an underbelly filled with dying dreams. The sound of love always given in the wrong language. When he tells you his stories, listen for the shakes in the tenor of his voice. If they sound like my mistakes, I hope you can convince him to forgive me. For the way I was only an echo of the sister he always wanted or the friend he always needed. When he tells you his stories, hold his hand. Trace his lifeline, feel the pulse of a heart too pure for this broken world. If you decide to leave him, he will forgive you. But I will watch you trace my footsteps out the door and know that gravity will always pull you back.
So we're gonna just keep moving to our next poet. Have you guys been liking the love poem so far? Because we're gonna hit you with another one. Please welcome David back to the stage.
Cool. So this is part 2. So this is about how unrequited love can actually be pretty cool sometimes. So the face is processed holistically. Cognitive psychologists say when we look in a mirror, before we see ears or nose or skin tones, we see David Kastelman, the face. And that's beautiful. That your identity is processed at face value, inseparable at some level. But I can't help wondering if you don't wrap a cognitive burqa around your face. That's not to say you're my religion. I'd never admit to that. I just question whether those eyes like the universe to Albert Einstein and those freckles sprinkled like intimate secrets over the bridge of your nose aren't the first thing that pop out at me. And truth be told, if faith is just belief in something outside of your own head, something that leaves you feeling simultaneously insignificant and motivated, well, time in your presence is always the best part of my week. And I know I don't know all that much about you, family history, internet procrastination habits, but I know your laugh resonates at the natural frequency of my hands, rings with warm chills. What I'm trying to say is, I have faith in you. And I hope I never mistake practicing that faith with practicing for a date. I hope I'm never so caught up in my own musings about just how happy you were to see me when we walked by and you smiled that I can't hear it. Your smile, it sings whole notes, love notes, my own gospel music, Jack Johnson hymns to what feels right. I hope I never stray from that music. That's not to say I want dogma. I just want a faith that's unshakable at dining halls, because the amount my hands shake at meals with you is inversely proportional to how much you make me want to go, yes. And I really like going, yes. They say you can't say whether it's more important to love or be loved. This day is not the same day as cognitive psychologists, but this day is also wise. And I don't doubt what they say. If this was a love ballad rather than an unrequited love ballad, I'd be delirious in your presence or out of it. I'd prefer it. But if that never comes to be, I hope seeing you never becomes anything less than what it is now. The best part of my week.
If you guys are ready for more poems, we're going to do more poems. So I take it you guys can hear me, right? Yeah. All right, so we wanted to show you a different type of poem that you may sometimes see at a slam. It's called a group piece. That's when I see you. That's when more than one poet performs a poem on stage. So Becky and I are going to do a poem for you guys. It's about a really serious subject, so bear with us. Like, give us your support. You know. Here we go. It's like a third leg. I would never cut it off, but it makes walking pretty damn awkward sometimes.
It's Facebook! An interwebs mirror, yeah.
Facebook is a personal ad in the classifieds, updated every day.
Facebook is the imaginary friend for grown-ups. We spend all this time together playing all these special games like Mafia, Farmville, and Tag.
Later, we talk about all the things we did with him, even though we feel like nothing really happens.
Facebook is a great way to make real friends with real people.
Made eye contact with that guy in your history lecture?
Add him.
This girl said hi to you today, and you didn't really talk to her, but you're in the same service group, so it's fine if you...
Add her.
Turns out, the guy who played that awesome set last night is best friends with your roommate. You could ask her to introduce you, but you're not a creep, so...
Poke him.
Facebook is the hole you drill into your own bathroom wall so that everyone else can look in.
You're shining a light on all your best features.
Duck face!
Tweezing away the less impressive parts. Bon Iver of a Britney, Tolstoy of a Twilight.
Knowing full well that from everyone else's viewpoint, you just look dumb.
But modesty is so 4 hours ago. Why don't you just bulldoze your bathroom walls down and replace it with a nice glass box?
Timeline that shit. Your page. Private, but your emotions have gone public.
With thoroughly personal.
Totally ambiguous.
Status updates.
Like, some people are just so two-faced.
I just hate it when people talk shit about you on Facebook instead of saying it to your face. SMH.
The sad thing is...
Joe is probably the only one who didn't see that status.
Facebook published the biography of my freshman year math TA's roommate sister's grandmother-in-law from Topeka. I may never finish that research paper I sat down to write, but...
Ooh, she just added a major in creeperdom. I'm gonna like that. Like, Facebook is keeping in touch with your best friends from 6th grade.
But only on their birthday.
Keeping alive so 500 friends.
With a regularly updated smile on your profile.
Sarah.
Check.
Steven.
Check.
Cute guy you met at a concert.
Check. Facebook is being the quickest, wittiest, coolest, cutest, smartest, sexiest, funniest person on the news feed.
After editing that comment
10 times. Post it.
Tag it.
Like it.
Poke it.
Attend it.
Throw a fish on it.
Hashtag seriously though, I'm not gonna delete my account.
Hashtag no shit.
But 300 of my friends are strangers.
I change my relationship status so often it feels like I'm practicing for divorce.
And do you actually speak that many languages? Well, I guess I'll never know, because we haven't spoken in months.
Don't you hate it when someone talks about another person in a poem instead of saying it to their face?
Book.